Welcome to the After School Show. I'm Olivia.
I'm Jillian.
And we have Nathan Osmand.
That's right. It's good to be here with y'all. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I say y'all. I sing country music. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I understand y'all put some questions together for this show. What would you like to know?
What is your favorite song you've ever sung?
My favorite song I've ever sung? Boy, I have lots of favorite songs I love to sing, but I grew up singing all sorts of different styles of music, from barbershop harmony to pop music to country music. I've done 1940s big band swing music, and there's so many great genres, but I think one of my favorite songs I got the chance to sing was a Garth Brooks song. It's a country song called More Than a Memory, and I did it with the lead singer of Chicago. That was a highlight. That was really cool because I am a huge Garth Brooks fan, but I got to sing with one of my other favorite bands, Chicago.
That's really cool. So how long have you been doing this?
My whole life. I was literally born on television. No, not really. I was born in Payson, Utah, but my uncle and aunt are Donnie and Marie. Now, you're too young probably to remember the Osmonds or Donnie and Marie, but if you know Mulan, if you've seen the movie Mulan, my uncle does the voice of Shang, the singing part. Let's get down to business. You know that? So I grew up watching them. They had a hit TV show in the early 80s. So when I was born in 77, my very first national television appearance was less than a year old, and they just made my face with a big binky in my mouth. That was my very first television appearance. So I've been doing this my whole life.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Do you like music? Yeah? What kind of music do you girls like?
I like listening to music from musicals, personally.
Love musicals. What's one of your favorite musicals?
I'm not sure. There are so many good ones.
So, have you been in a musical?
Not yet, but I'm going to try out for the school one.
If you had to pick one that you could be in, which one would it be? Ooh, it's tough, isn't it?
All of them.
All of them. What about you? What kind of music do you like? You like pop music? What kind of pop music? Like, who are some of the groups that you like to listen to for artists?
I don't really know.
No, you like Justin Bieber? You like Taylor Swift? No, you like Imagine Dragons? Those guys are good. You know, they grew up like 2 blocks down the street from where I live right now. I've actually been in their recording studio. They have one in American Fork. There's even a big bus there that says Imagine Dragons on it. Isn't that cool? Yeah, so they're from American Fork, Utah. 2 of them are. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Small world. A lot of talent here in Utah, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
What other questions do y'all have?
What got you to start to sing?
You know, growing up in a musical family, my father was a regular on a national television show at the age of 12, and he was the oldest. Can you imagine a 12-year-old boy on television every single week? My father grew up, he telling us the stories of what it was like performing and singing, having to have new routines ready every single week, because if you didn't, you weren't on TV. So he was the leader of the group as a 12-year-old. And every single week, there was a man named Andy Williams who had a national television show. He was kind of like a Frank Sinatra of his day. And what he would do is he'd have these acts on. He would have my father and uncles, the Osmond brothers, on his show. And so I grew up watching the videotapes of those shows and just loved to see how much joy music could bring to the lives of people that I wanted to do it myself. So I would mimic my dad and sing the same songs that he would be singing, and we'd watch the videos and we'd know it word for word. And then my parents would shut off the little VCR and we'd go eat lunch. And guess what? My brothers and I would still be singing the same songs, but we had a natural gift for harmony, so we were actually picking out the harmonies too, and we were singing in 2-part harmony. My father goes, "Wow, who taught you that?" We kind of had a natural gift, and so he says, "Let me teach you the 3rd and 4th parts too." So we started doing the old barbershop harmonies just like he did. And there was a great television show here in Salt Lake City, Utah called Talent Showcase by a guy named Eugene Zeleznik on KSL. And the cool part is that he gave us, my brothers and me, the whole show. So we put together a whole television show of all the songs we could think of. And we did it. And in preparing for that, there was a magazine called People Magazine that thought this was kind of cool. They got wind of this new generation of Osmond singers, you know, this group of 4 brothers, and they did a little write-up on us in People Magazine. Well, guess what? There was a guy named Bob Hope who read that article, and he knew my dad from when he was a kid. He goes, "I want those boys on my show." And guess what? He called us up. They put us on his show. We got signed by Curb Records in Los Angeles, and we started doing pop music. We had some big songs in the UK and here in the United States. And then they signed us on Epic Sony over in Europe. I was like 15 at the time when that second album came out, but I got to tour with some of my favorite groups like New Kids on the Block, Color Me Bad, Salt and Pepper, Naughty by Nature, all these big groups from the 1990s. And we had 3 songs in the top 40 in the UK. Well, my father, who has MS, multiple sclerosis, is a health condition, he wasn't able to do a lot of performing anymore, and it was hard for him to travel. So my uncle Jimmy, he was the youngest of the Osmond generation, he bought a theater in a town called Branson, Missouri. And he got us to come out there. So we kept performing 2 shows every single day, except for Sundays, for about 5 years. I went to serve a mission for our church, and then guess what? When I got back, the very next day, I'm in auditions for a musical called Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. You ever seen that show? My Uncle Donnie is the one that does the DVD, so he plays Joseph in it. So I got to take over that tour after he finished for 2 full years. And I just loved it, so I've done musicals. But it's after that that I kind of got into the country music. I always loved country, and started doing my own thing. I went up to Nashville. I wrote with the guys from Lone Star, and they actually are the ones that produced half my first album. And so we've had 4 consecutive #1 hit singles so far since that day. And like I said, we're going to keep doing this till we get it right. But that's my story in a nutshell.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, do you have any pet peeves?
Pet peeves as it pertains to music or
Anything.
anything? I do have a pet dog. Her name's Blizzard. She's half husky, half border collie, and she's amazing. But pet peeves, I think arrogance is one of the things that bugs me, People that are arrogant, and I think people that bully others, People that don't have any empathy towards others, I think that bothers me.
Yeah.
I don't like smoking. I appreciate when people, if they want to do it, fine, go outside, but don't make other people breathe that, So that's one of my pet peeves when I see people that don't care about other people's feelings.
I fully agree.
You know what I'm saying? It's just called courtesy. Right? It's the golden rule. Do unto others as you'd have do unto you. And I don't like swearing.
Neither do I.
Yeah. So those are my pet peeves.
What is the weirdest or craziest thing that's happened at a concert?
At one of my concerts, boy, I tell you, there's been a lot of crazy stuff that's happened. I've had death threats. I've had crazy people show up in wedding dresses thinking they're going to marry me. I had a guy take his shirt off and run around like a crazy man. That was kind of nuts. We've had people rush the stage. When I was a teenager, I was about 15, my brothers and I were in a nightclub. We were performing in London, and it was awesome. I mean, our song was top 40 in the UK, with all these screaming girls all around us, and it was pretty exciting. But guess what? Because the girls liked us, the guys didn't, and they wanted to hurt us. So they found these vinyl records. I don't know where they got these vinyl records. Maybe they ripped them off the wall, but all of a sudden I'm feeling these things flying past my head, and pieces of vinyl. That can cut you, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's getting nuts and crazy. We're almost getting hit, and all of a sudden we're going to the last part of our song, and the fans can tell it's the end. And so, anyways, it's getting a little nervous. We're starting to see a stampede of people coming at us, and right towards the end of the song, the lights go out. I just feel this giant bodyguard reach his arm over me, under my armpit. I'm just all hot and sweaty. He just yanks me and pulls me into this closet. They had this closet they just pulled all of us into until all the fans could calm down. But it was a scary moment. Someone could have really gotten hurt. So I was grateful that they had those bodyguards jump in and help us. So that was fun, though. It was exciting. That's 15. Going back a few years.
Wow.
Yeah, good times, though.
So, she doesn't want me to ask you this.
Ask me.
What is your favorite color?
My favorite color? Red. Surprise, right? No, I like red, and I also like navy blue, which is why I brought that blue jacket today. I think those are 2 of my favorite colors. Yeah.